У нас тут на площадке настоящее кино.
Steel commanders, yeah.
I like that, but I'm not going to say it on camera.
It's with Sabaton. I'm like, okay.
Do you really want me to answer this?
Еще в 2017 году мы начали сотрудничество с группой Sabaton. Началось все с того, что мы сделали отдельный специальный стиль для шведского танка Strv 81 и, собственно, записали трек «Прима Виктория» в ангаре. Но уже сразу в процессе сотрудничества мы понимали, что мы хотим чего-то большего и готовы были бы сделать что-то еще более интересное и захватывающее.
I mean, we were discussing around we needed a fast, cool, brutal song. We haven't done one in a very long time. And we were also discussing together with Wargaming how to follow up the success of the the Prima Victoria tank. And then the idea came about, okay, maybe we should do another story in the game. And this time, do it with a new song. And then it was quite complicated. Like, how do you do a song that is like taking the whole concept of tanks and tank commanders into like few words?
Yeah, I mean, squeezing 100 years of mechanized warfare into, I guess, 4 minutes or something, or 3.5. That's tricky business, I'll tell you that. Both we and Wargaming obviously want this to be a Sabaton song. So we are absolutely doing what's, absolutely normal for us.
Yeah, I mean, we did a song called The Future of Warfare on the latest album, and this was the birth of tanks. Now we have to write a song that is about the continuation of tanks and the evolve of tanks and its commanders.
We had to choose the tank battles very carefully because everything from, the fields of Prokhorovka, which is obviously, a hint to the Battle of Kursk. And sometimes we chose them because they were important and iconic. Sometimes because they rhymed. Sometimes it is that easy.
First of all, Sabaton, the name Sabaton comes out of a medieval shoe that was used by knights. So it's a natural thing that we decided to keep it. And also, Sabaton, we sing mostly about more recent battles and historical events. But Sabaton sings about history, and we go back to medieval times as well in some of the songs, and further back. So it is there. And a tank and a knight, what's the similarity between it? Well, both of them are heavily armored, for sure. And both of them are always in the heat of the battle, so to say.
У нас была достаточно сложная задача. Нам нужно было связать и рыцарей, и танковых командиров, и наш проект World of Tanks. Через клип мы постарались все эти элементы соединить и завязать одной историей.
We started developing the plot for the music video a long time ago. We were working around different concepts for the idea of the tank in the game. And when we eventually came to the idea that we're gonna do something called the spirit of war, we started to work with different concepts, like what is the spirit of war? How does it look like? How does it feel? What does it do? And eventually, how do we tell this in just a few minutes of footage?
Ключевым звеном и ключевой идеей в этом клипе является дух войны. Это такая бестелесая субстанция, которая летает по полям сражений, ищет для себя самого сильного воина на поле боя, для того, чтобы через него реализовать свою силу, свою мощь, свою энергию. Ну и, собственно, как мы видим в начале клипа, дух войны находит именно нашего рыцаря, вселяется в него, а дальше все видели.
Сам сценарий очень необычный, он сразу очень понравился группе, потому что это действительно то, что не мы как компания никогда не делали, и в целом в истории клипов группы каких-то таких необычных историй тоже никогда не было.
When they told me about the project, okay, we're gonna have knights, we're gonna have battles in the 15th century, we're gonna have tanks through the ages, we're gonna have this all these explosions, all of this VFX, and it's with Sabaton. I'm like, okay.
Ковид, я думаю, для всех стал очень большой неожиданностью в 2020 году. Изначально у нас были планы съемок весной 2020 года. У нас был написан сценарий, был выбран режиссер, была выбрана команда, которая непосредственно продакшеном будет заниматься. И, в общем, где-то за месяц до запланированных съемок мир просто остановился, все закрылось, началась пандемия.
And at one point, I'm sitting here in Minsk a little bit more than 1 year ago. The director, Julian, was also here, but in a hotel room and we couldn't meet. So we were having calls in the same city.
Тогда мы поняли, что, к сожалению, в тех условиях снять клип именно тогда и как мы изначально планировали, будет невозможно.
Нам пришлось искать более удачную возможность, чтобы воплотить это все в жизнь.
В начале 2021 года мы снова вышли на контакты с режиссером и с группой, начали обсуждать наши планы и возможность того, чтобы выпустить в релиз проект летом 2021 года, и начали так непосредственно активно готовиться к съемкам. Долго выбирали подходящее место, город, площадку и время, когда и режиссер, и группа, и наша команда смогут встретиться для того, чтобы, собственно, организовать съемки. И таким местом был выбран Минск. Именно в Минске в середине мая мы сняли клип.
We're musicians, first and foremost. So going out of your comfort zone into all of a sudden an actor, you're really grateful to have a good production team behind it and a good director who can really guide you through the whole process. Because actors are called actors for a reason and musicians are called musicians for a reason, you know?
We built a whole story, a whole almost mythology, going from the 15th century to the Second World War, where we explain and show this spirit of war, how it evolved, how it goes from people to people, tank to tank, and choose who is the most valiant and skilled and whom deserves most to have that power. And then we want to show that Strv K in the coolest way possible, and so automatically they both go hand in hand. The spirit of war in the end choose the Strv K, meaning that it's the best one. And so the whole film has this kind of culmination point where the Strv K and Sabaton, which is its crew, prevail and deserve ultimately the spirit of war.
I was playing the commander, and that entails being grumpy and yelling at people, so it comes naturally to me. And one of the hardest things is, I think, is when you're in the shot, but you're not the one in focus. But so you're basically a prop in the background, and to act naturally then.
That's
because
what I've been feeling for years, man.
Listening to their song is one thing, but working on their song is, I don't know, the energy. You cannot not like it. It's not even liking it. It's just, it pushes you up. It's so many times I'm working and I'm like grinning, just feeling the power of it.
My character, the loader, you know, I had to get into character. A big muscular guy, very silent, doesn't say anything at all.
A lot of CGI.
A lot of CGI. And then at one point he has opportunity to show what he's made of, to bring those heavy shells, the ammunition, and load it into the cannon. And it was fun, you know, to play this, to do this character. But as Hannes was saying, we're not actors, we're musicians.
For this shooting, I get to be Hannes in the back, in the tank, sitting there with my headphones and listening to good music though. So I had a good feeling all the time. I was tuning in on the radio, rock stations all over, listening to classic rock music. No, there was nothing on the radio, unfortunately, but I had to pretend that there was something good on the radio or interesting that I could relay the information, like there's something coming at us or we're moving this way or whatever.
And as you can hear, nobody wanted to be in front of the camera. Everybody, I love being in the back, you know, so who got the job sitting in front of the camera? This guy. So yeah, I got to be the driver, which was hilarious because I was sitting on a piece of brick, just jumping around, but it was great fun, you know.
Artists like Sabaton, they give it all in the moment. It's instant. And that's how you get that energy, you know, it's because it's direct from them to you, you listen, it's like there is no lapse, no. But when you work in movies, when you work, what I do, it's preparation for months and months and months, and you have to calculate, you have to organize, so here it's, that's again my job, to make that energy happen, even though it's not direct. You know, we build all these things and we arrange them in a way that visually you get that energy. even though it's not something spontaneous like when we are playing. But we need to match that. We need to get that same spontaneity felt in our work. So it's a challenge.
First you walk into this big factory, and my first thought was, okay, there's some cameras in this old factory, you know? But when you start looking, everything that's there is there for a reason.
And when the fire started to burn for the final takes, I mean, I was standing kind of in the front, and I just look around before we were shooting, and I look at Hannes, and I was like, this is probably the coolest setting you have ever been in, because everything around you was burning.
Yeah, and I sat with my back against you a long time, just enjoying the view, until the director goes, "Are you here?" Like, oh yeah, sorry, turn my chair around.
И это был очень такой сложный дождливый день в Минске. Съемки длились фактически 24 часа, то есть в это время группа находилась на площадке, и им надо было отыгрывать каждый кадр, но они очень большие профессионалы и просто отработали на все 100%. Надеемся, что та энергия, которую они показывали на съемочной площадке, она также будет видна и поклонникам группы, и нашим игрокам непосредственно в самом клипе.
Название группы Sabaton говорит само за себя. Это латный ботинок. С чем ассоциируется латный ботинок? Это с рыцарством и с рыцарскими доспехами. Именно этим мы вдохновлялись, когда создавали визуальный образ для 3D-стиля «Дух войны».
How would a tank carrying Sabaton, spirit of war, and history of warfare in all that in one tank? How would it look like? And this was something we were working on for so long time. But I think that the end result is like, there it is. It captures it's a hard rock tank. It's a Sabaton tank. It has some Swedish in it. It has a lot of Sabaton in it, and it's carrying this metal. And it's a lot of heavy metal in it.
Мы старались подобрать интересную машину для такого 3D-стиля и выбирали между несколькими танками. Нам хотелось, чтобы это был, естественно, шведский танк. И в первую очередь он был простой, понятный игрокам. Уникальной особенностью этого танка является то, что он будет первым премом 9 уровня.
So, the Sabaton tank in the game is the Strv K. And it's actually the Strv K Spirit of War. The same Spirit of War that we also have in the music video appears in the game as well. And that is how the story of it in the music video, starting with a knight in medieval times, traveling and eventually ending up in the Sabaton tank in the video, and then it's introduced in the game. So when the people are playing the game with the Strv K Spirit of War tank, they could watch the music video and understand where the Spirit of War comes from and understand why it's shining like that.
So guys, to hell and back?
When we did the Primo Victoria tank, I did a lot of voiceovers. I did them on my own in a hotel room, when we were on tour. However, this time we went, I had the producers of the game there, and they helped a lot. And I gotta say, it was much more fun this time, because one, obviously when joking around or testing things, if I'm alone in a hotel room, I don't know how far I could take it, you know? Can I make a joke here, or should I just do the line strict? And we're having the producers there, them telling me more, harder, stronger, louder, prouder, sad, whatever it is, makes a huge difference in how fast you can do it, how good the end result is going to be, and then especially with all the sort of Easter eggs. I mean, if you're a Sabaton fan and you're playing the game with me as the commander, there's a lot in there that people who aren't familiar with Sabaton aren't going to get,
World of Tanks meets the band Sabaton again. Something new is coming. The Spirit of War game event will take place in World of Tanks from August 27th through September 6th. You all know the rules. 10 days, 10 stages. And the main reward, a Tier 9 premium tank. the gorgeous Strv K.